As the first light of dawn bleeds across the rolling hills of the Iberian Peninsula, a mist clings to an ancient, scattered forest. Gnarled silhouettes stretch their twisted branches toward the pale sky, standing as silent sentinels over a landscape that feels suspended in time. This is not wild nature, untouched and untamed, nor is it the rigid grid of modern agriculture. It is a profound collaboration, a living tapestry woven over millennia by human hands and natural rhythms. We call this enduring ecological marvel the Dehesa. It is a masterful expression of silvopasture, a deliberate integration of trees, forage, and grazing livestock in a mutually beneficial arrangement. Here, the boundaries between wild forest and cultivated pasture dissolve into a continuous human-managed savanna. For thousands of years, the inhabitants of this sun-baked land have cultivated a system that defies the extractive nature of conventional farming, choosing instead a path of deep, reciprocal nourishment. Within this ancient system, survival relies entirely upon an intricate choreography of shade, soil, and animal life. The Dehesa functions not by conquering the harsh, drought-prone environment, but by intimately understanding its limitations and leveraging its hidden strengths. It is a landscape engineered for resilience, where every fallen leaf and grazing herd plays a critical role in maintaining a delicate equilibrium. To walk through these scattered groves is to witness a masterclass in ecological harmony. The absolute foundation of this balance rests upon the broad, evergreen canopies of the native trees, specifically the cork oak and the holm oak. Archaeological evidence suggests that early pastoralists selectively thinned dense Mediterranean forests, leaving only the strongest, most productive oaks to flourish. These solitary giants were granted the space to expand their root systems and stretch their crowns, transforming from competitors in a crowded woodland to the generous anchors of a thriving, open ecosystem. These majestic oaks are the lifeblood of the savanna, providing indispensable shade during the searing summer months and yielding a crucial autumn harvest. As the seasonal heat wanes, the branches grow heavy with acorns, dropping a rich, high-calorie carpet across the grassy floor. This bounty sustains the traditional livestock that roam freely beneath the canopy, primarily the native Iberian pigs, whose foraging patterns have been intricately tied to the rhythms of the trees for countless generations. This seasonal feast, traditionally known as the Montanera, is a period of intense ecological exchange. As the animals consume the fallen acorns, they simultaneously churn the earth with their hooves, their very presence acting as a catalyst for renewal. The pigs, sheep, and cattle do not merely take from the land. They are active participants in its maintenance. Their grazing manages the undergrowth, preventing the accumulation of dry brush that would otherwise fuel devastating summer wildfires. The echoes of that ancient reciprocity still resonate in the soil today. As the livestock digest the autumn harvest, they deposit vital nutrients back into the earth, completing a continuous loop of fertility. This natural fertilization process eliminates the need for synthetic inputs, enriching the ground slowly and sustainably. The animals act as mobile composters, transforming the canopy's offerings into a rich bioavailable resource that feeds the native grasses and clover during the brief, wet springs. Beneath the surface, an even more profound mechanism of survival is at work. The expansive root systems of the isolated oaks act as immense hydraulic pumps, drawing moisture from deep underground aquifers and pulling it toward the parched topsoil. This process, combined with the protective shade of the broad canopies, drastically reduces evaporation. In a region historically plagued by severe drought and rapid soil erosion, the Dehesa holds water like a vast, living sponge. There is a melancholic beauty in realizing that such profound wisdom was born of absolute necessity. The ancestors who shaped this land understood that to strip the earth bare was to invite their own destruction. They chose instead to sculpt a refuge, a shaded sanctuary that could endure the relentless Iberian sun. Their legacy is written not in stone monuments, but in the enduring vitality of the soil and the quiet strength of the ancient oaks. This landscape represents a paradigm of productive conservation, a concept where human livelihood and ecological health are inextricably linked. The Dehesa supports thriving local economies, yielding high-value goods like cured meats, wild honey, and sustainable cork, all without depleting the underlying natural capital. It is a testament to the fact that human presence does not have to be a destructive force. When guided by reverence and restraint, we can be architects of abundance. The roots of this practice stretch deep into antiquity, shaped by a succession of cultures that recognize the unique potential of the managed savanna. From early Celtic tribes to Roman agriculturalists and later Moorish agronomists, each civilization layered its own observations onto the landscape. Historical texts and land registries reveal a continuous, evolving tradition of stewardship, a collective inheritance passed down through centuries of careful observation and intimate engagement with the natural world. Yet to maintain this delicate architecture requires a profound generational commitment. The knowledge of when to prune the oak, how to rotate the grazing herds, and when to let the land rest cannot be learned from a manual. It is an embodied wisdom, whispered from elder to youth beneath the ancient boughs. As rural populations dwindle and the modern world accelerates, this unbroken chain of memory faces the quiet threat of oblivion. Today, the ancient Dehesa defies the rigid categorization of modern, industrialized agriculture. It is neither a pristine nature reserve nor a high-yield monoculture farm, frustrating those who seek to maximize short-term profit at the expense of long-term stability. In a globalized economy obsessed with efficiency and uniformity, this sprawling, complex savanna stands as a stubborn anomaly, a living rebellion against the homogenization of our planetary landscapes. The pressures of the modern era have continually threatened to dismantle this fragile equilibrium. Throughout the 20th century, aggressive campaigns sought to uproot the ancient oaks, replacing them with fast-growing, non-native timber, or clearing the land entirely for mechanized cereal production. The tragic consequence of these interventions was immediate and severe. Soils quickly degraded, biodiversity plummeted, and the once resilient landscape succumbed to the ravages of drought and erosion. Fortunately, the deep-rooted resilience of the original design allowed portions of the landscape to survive these dark periods of ecological amnesia. Where the oaks were spared, the land remembered its purpose. Traditional pastoralists fiercely defended their ancestral methods, proving through sheer survival that the old ways possessed a durability that modern interventions lacked. Their stubborn adherence to the rhythms of the savanna preserved a vital genetic and cultural reservoir for the future. Modern scientific inquiry has now validated what these ancient stewards always knew, revealing the Dehesa as a crucial ally in our current climate crisis. Researchers have identified this vast silvopastoral network as an immense carbon sink. Through the process of carbon sequestration, the deep-rooted trees and undisturbed permanent pastures capture and store massive amounts of atmospheric carbon dioxide, locking it safely away within the rich organic matter of the soil. The mechanics of this sequestration are a marvel of biological engineering. Because the earth beneath the oaks is rarely plowed or violently disturbed, the complex fungal networks and microscopic life remain intact, continuously building stable carbon compounds. The sheer scale of the Iberian savanna means that this quiet, subterranean process has a measurable impact on the global climate, offering a powerful counterweight to the emissions of the industrialized world. As we search desperately for ways to heal a fractured planet, the Dehesa emerges as a profound, scalable model for the future. It proves that we can cultivate food and sustain communities while simultaneously fostering extraordinary biodiversity and sequestering carbon. The forgotten techniques of the past are not mere historical curiosities. They are sophisticated blueprints for survival, offering a viable alternative to the destructive agricultural paradigms that currently dominate our world. There is a deep, resonant comfort in knowing that such harmony is possible, yet it is tinged with the melancholy of knowing how rare it has become. To stand in the dappled light of the managed savanna is to feel the weight of countless generations who walked softly upon the earth. The landscape itself feels sentient, breathing in time with the seasons, forever shaped by the invisible hand of ancestral reverence. The thick, fire-resistant bark of the cork oak stands as a physical manifestation of this enduring memory. Harvested carefully every 9 years, the tree is never felled, only stripped of its outer layer, leaving a vibrant, rust-colored trunk that slowly heals and thickens once more. These trees are the silent keepers of time, bearing the scars of centuries of human interaction, yet continuing to offer their protective canopy to the world below. If we allow this model of coexistence to fade into the annals of history, we lose far more than a unique agricultural technique. We lose a fundamental understanding of our own place within the web of life, surrendering the profound truth that humanity can be a keystone species, a healer of landscapes, rather than merely a consumer of them. The loss of the savanna would be the silencing of a vital earthly dialogue. The ancient Dehesa system remains a testament to the beautiful, complex possibilities of our relationship with the natural world. It is a whispered promise from the past, reminding us that true sustainability is not a modern invention, but an ancient memory waiting to be reawakened. As the sun sets over the Iberian oaks, casting long shadows across the golden grass, the enduring wisdom of the savanna invites us to finally listen, and perhaps to remember.